Last time that we were together, we were talking about our presentation and how to add images to it. And you can see now that I've got three images, one on each of my slides, and I even put the credit down here. This one's from Sweetwater, this one's from Metallica, this one is from a really long website that I found. So you never kind of know where you're going to get the best stuff from. Something came up though, it was a little mini lesson on aspect ratio. The pictures that we had were pretty much portrait orientation. However, if they're landscape, like this one here, if I double click on it, you can see when it was pasted in here, when I first put it in here, I actually had a problem because it only showed that much. And if that's something that you have a problem with, make sure that you can always double click on it and put it in the correct orientation for that space. It doesn't matter that we have a little space up above and below. The frame itself is still in portrait orientation. You can actually change that by pulling this out and then changing that part. But it doesn't matter because I like where it's at and the size is right, and in that orientation that's as big as I need it anyhow. So we've got our credit down below. We've got all of our information now. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't really changed the backgrounds at all, which is kind of, that's your choice if you decide that you want to do that. Remember that you can come through here. We started off with a background that was gradient and it's one color, but then you can go to every single one of these and change the background. Here it is right here. Just make sure that you click in a corner or someplace where you're not on an object or not on text, and this will pop right up. And you can edit it any way you want. If my hobbies, if I decided I wanted to go with something blue, so it matches the text I already have, or goes along with it better. Here's the music. I kind of like the way that one looks. And the last one is this one, which I also thought kind of worked, but if I wanted to change the background, I could. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of cool. And when it comes to our gradients on here, I can actually change the direction of it. Where it says right here angle, we can actually change the angle on it, so depending on kind of how you want it to be, what works best. You can go back through and adjust these however you like it. But now's the part that we want to get to, which is we need to animate everything. Remember, the whole point of this is to make something that we can put in our video, and so if you want to just make a slide, you can do that. You can export these as JPEG files by going to export to, and you can export them as images, and that'll export it as a JPEG. It'll be in your presentation as a static picture that doesn't move. But what we want to do is we want to try and animate things, and that's what's known as motion graphics. It's what you see when you guys are watching a title sequence, intro of any kind. And you'll notice there's a button over here that says animate. What you want to do is animate everything. We also want to animate it automatically. So I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to add an effect. And you got to go through these at least once and just kind of familiarize yourself with what it is they do, what they look like. That one looks pretty good. I don't like it from left. I'm going to go from the bottom. You can change the duration, but if you start messing with the duration, a lot of times if you make it too long, it'll really slow down your presentation. It's not what you want. If we change how much it comes in by, you can go from first, instead of going all at once, you can go by paragraph, by highlighted paragraph. And when you hit preview, it'll show you what that does. Right now we have the text and the background behind the text going at the same time. And we want to go through and animate everything. Now you notice I have to click on something first in order to build an effect. If I do the text first, I can change the order of things by coming back and just adding an effect this way. I'm going to have this one fly in from the right. And then we have our picture coming in last. This one will have it move in like that. That's kind of fun with a little bit of bounce. So now that I have an effect on all three of these items, I'm going to go to build order. And this is where I can change the order in which things actually move. So what's the one that I want first? I actually want hobbies. And all I have to do is just drag it up here. And now that one's first. Second is the one that says photography. And if I click on it, it's the one that's highlighted so you can see that. Third is the picture coming up. And all of these, you have a choice where it says on click. You want to change that to after transition. And the second one will say with build 1 or after it. You're going to do after, so they go in order. You'll notice that they'll kind of connect. And the third one, again, I'm going to go after build 2. And now they're all connected. So when I hit preview, this is what we get. Hobbies first, then the text. Oh, I don't like that. So if there's something you don't like, you can actually change it. I'm going to exit out of that. Click on this one, and I didn't like the direction, which was left to right. I'm going to go, let's go top to bottom. See if that looks better. Boom. Yeah, that's much better. And we want to make sure that everything is automatic, so everything's together, so we know that is. And we want to do that to every single slide. But you're not done just because you've animated everything on the slide. You also want to animate the slide itself. So if I go to animate and you see that I have nothing selected, it'll ask me what kind of transition I want, basically. So I'm going to go to here and change it automatic, and then I'm going to look through all of these different effects that we have. Let's start off with confetti. And that's how it'll transition from the previous slide to this one. And you can do the same thing to every slide. See what it says, no transition effect. Let's go droplet. Oh, just drop it in, that's fine. And on click, no, we want it automatically. We're going to do that to everything. So make sure you do that to every slide, and you'll be ready to save correctly so that we can export this as a video. Again, don't forget, when you go to document, this should be 16 by 9. And every time that I work on a slide, I always want to go up and hit File, Save, make sure I save my changes. Alright, you guys are doing great, and I'll talk to you in the next video.